Welcome Thursday morning.
So today, we're going to talk about what are the crazy trends that you followed when you were younger.
Well, we're going to talk about what crazy trends we followed, but we're
Yeah,
asking you.
we're
that
asking
too.
you. So in the below in the comments, please tell us what kind of crazy trends you followed as children.
So one of the ones that I remember is those big, huge sweater dresses.
Yeah.
And there's actually a picture of my oldest sister. I don't think there's one of me. There was another long dress with leggings picture of me, I think, in a black and white polka dot dress when I was like 9. And that was another trend, was long dresses with leggings. But you're getting old when the trends you had when you were a kid are coming back.
I remember how big my hair was. I remember that I would take a comb and I would part my bangs right down the middle right here.
That's right.
And then I would flip half of it up and I would curl it with a curling iron up. And then I would curl the bottom part with a curling iron down. And then I would spray it with hairspray and then I would puff it up. And it was huge bangs. And
yeah, I remember
and then
that.
and then I would fluff up my hair too, and I didn't need any help with that. My hair was just, I'm a magnet to static electricity, and so it's just my hair will go.
Yeah, our hair was pretty fine, and so our hair would do that just from the trampoline. It would be stick up.
I would
straight.
be like Einstein, and it would
be so. Another trend that I remember, this wasn't really fashion trend, but we played with Pogs. Do you remember Pogs?
Oh, yes.
So we had those paper, they're like paper discs.
Cardboard discs.
Yeah, they're thick paper cardboard.
Yeah, like a cardboard disc.
So
compressed cardboard disc.
Yeah, so you would take those and you would take a metal disc
that's thick and heavy,
and you would pound it on the paper ones and see how many you could flip over when they were stacked on top of each other. I think that's how.
Yeah, you would do stacks. You would have stacks of these compressed cardboard.
And there were collector metal discs,
slammers.
Yeah, slammers. That's what they're called.
Slammers.
Yeah, there were collectors slammers that were worth more than others. It's like the fidget spinners.
Yeah.
For now, except cooler. And we didn't have phones, so we had to find ways to entertain ourselves besides fidget spinners and telephones. We didn't text each other sitting right next to each other.
Yeah, we didn't. I actually only really remember having a few toys. And because I don't remember having a lot of Pogs, but I played it. I played it with other people's Pogs, and I just tried not to lose their slammers.
No, I remember having Pogs. I remember having.
I think I had
It was like one of those gum type tubes where you flip the top open and it's plastic, and then you put stuff in. And anyway, so it wasn't a gum one, but it was a Pog one, and I got some from our mom for something. I don't remember. And then but it was a tiny collection, and I was like, I want more of these, and all my friends have so much cooler ones than I do, and all that stuff. And it was, just growing up with a single mom.
I remember, so when we were younger, and still today, because we're nerds when it comes to cartoons and comedy and just funny things and action. I get into action a little bit, but one of my favorite shows was Arthur, and he had these things called moon boots. Well, we didn't have moon boots, but we had moon shoes, and what it was like a shoe that encompassed around your foot, and then it had rubber bands that connected to this big box around like this.
It wasn't a box; it was a plastic thing around it. So it was like this, and then the shoe was inside, and then you had rubber bands connecting.
So like a trampoline, mini trampoline.
It was like the springs. Yeah, springs, and it was really cool because you could actually get some height on that thing. Especially once the rubber ends were kind of used up a little bit and more stretchy.
But those were so fun, and I just remember that each of us had a pair of those. That was one of the toys I remembered, and then another toy that I remember, and I think that I still see these around, is it was like a giant ball that you had a handle and you would jump around like you're riding
a pogo stick kind of
on your butt.
Oh yeah. Well, kids have those now.
Yeah, but I don't see them as much, and it was just this huge fad when we were kids. And then the toy that I remember actually better than any other one was I was the shortest kid, as I mentioned before in the episode before this. And so I'm this short little girl, and this lady, she says she has this pair of stilts, and it's just like basically
Those things were hard.
these wooden squares with these triangles that were upside down,
Nailed on,
screwed onto them. And so, and that was it. Those were the stilts. And
it was a
there
wooden
was this
pole. It was square and
there was
long
this
and tall.
yeah, and there was this lady at the apartments that we lived at, and she said, well, here are the stilts. Whichever kid can walk the farthest on them gets to take them home. And so I was thinking I'm gonna win these stilts. So I started practicing, and everybody kept on like trying to put the stilts out in front of them like this, and then they kept on trying to walk, and they would lose control of it, because how much control do you have of it with your arms like this? And so I was just in my
and
head,
you can't take a step that way because your foot comes up and it comes off the stilt.
Yeah, and so I thought that I was just thinking of a better way, something that would make it so that it was easier. And so I turned my hands this way, and I put my hands like this, and then I was able to kind of walk like this.
So you're picking up the stilts instead
as you go.
Yeah, so that your foot can stay on the triangle piece of wood.
And so I actually ended up winning the stilts because I could go way farther. And then so I practiced on those things all the time. And they made me so tall, and I was happy to have them. And I ended up learning how to like walk across an entire parking lot and then up and down stairs on them and everything, crazy stuff like that. And so that was the toy that I remember the best. And pogo sticks, like those are the two toys that I remember the best.
Well, I tried doing pogo sticks a couple of years ago. Those things are hard. And as a kid, we could stay on them like exponentially once we figured out how to balance on it.
Well, it wasn't
like,
just
how did we do this?
It wasn't just the balance. I think that you have to be the right weight too, because like for an adult, we could do the pogo stick, I think, fairly easily. But it's just like you're bouncing on it, and the spring is not powerful enough to push you back up. So you're basically jumping on your own.
You're smashing it down. That's true.
And so when we were really little, I remember it was terribly hard. It was horrible trying to learn how to do the pogo stick because I was too light and I couldn't push the spring down at all. And so it was just like I was just trying to balance, and the spring wouldn't move because I was so light. And then as I got a little bit heavier, then it was just like I could pound it down, and then it would push me right back up. And we could do pogo stick jumps forever
minutes at a time.
It
was awesome. One of the other trends when we were younger were those colorful tubes that were like they were ribbed all the way down, and then you and then you swung them above your head, and they would sing different. I don't know, were they meant to sing different notes or something? Were you supposed to make a musical choir?
If you can, and actually, there are people that have done this. There was a group that I saw that of 4 people, or no, maybe there was 6, but those
are different. Those whacker tubes, those are different than the.
But the idea is similar. Yeah, it depends on the diameter and the of the tube, the actual tube.
Right, the smaller it gets,
the higher pitched.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I remember those, and then but one of the trends I remember of as far as clothes were concerned was like hammer pants.
Hammer time.
and like like wind pants, which were
windbreakers,
which were similar to hammer pants, but they were shiny.
Yeah, and you could when you walked, it was like swoosh, 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 swoosh.
Yeah,
super lightweight.
And they're coming back. Like I've seen windbreakers.
And the neon is coming back too. That
high top shoes.
Yes. Yeah, it's true. And it's just crazy. It's hilarious.
We could talk about the 80s forever.
And the ankle.
I only lived in the 80s for 6 years.
Ankle cover things. That's more from the 90s, isn't it? Like the legging.
The leg warmers.
The leg warmers that that go up to like your mid calves, and then they're supposed to cover your. I saw a girl a couple years ago before I moved, walking home from the school bus. She was wearing those. I was like, what? happened? I'm going back in time.
Well,
This
I
is
see
crazy.
people with all sorts of styles. I see people with styles from the 40s, from the 20s, from the
It's
50s.
true.
It's just like now it's just this huge mixture of crazy styles, and they're all from all different time periods throughout
Yeah,
history. So.
it's true. They're and then the ponytail.
Oh
As
yeah,
you're rocking the
I
ponytail.
like I'm well, and not am I only rocking
It's
like.
supposed to be all together on
Oh no,
one
I
side
know,
like
but
this.
even this, like I saw this too, where it was like,
Yeah.
what are you talking about in the bucket picture in the last episode? You had a little doinker ponytail
I
on
know,
the side.
I know, but like the specific '80s ponytail was
Next
like
time-
all your hair all on one side, like the girl on Napoleon Dynamite,
yeah.
and the little keychains that you can braid and stuff. I remember making those too. That was like
We'll
the
have to go
lizards,
through an
too.
entire episode of just Napoleon Dynamite stuff versus Idaho stuff because we live in Idaho. So, but I'm also like I dress for the 80s kind of style because this is like neon, like neon pink, neon. What is this, turquoise? And then my side ponytail. But in the next episode, I'll actually wear a side ponytail just to like way bring it back to the 80s. So yeah.
Well,
let us know. Yeah, let us know your fun stories of your childhood, what the trends were at the time. We want to hear it.
some of your crazy hairstyles that you had,
And if they're coming back, I really want
comment
to
your
hear
pictures of those. We want to see those.
Oh, yeah.
That would be awesome.
that. Show us pictures of you and your kid. We would love that. So,
Thank you for watching.
May adventures be in your cards.